Marjorie.
I'm Maddie.
I'm Sajo.
And we are dissecting the perch. So here is the pectoral fin, right there, and the pelvic fin down here, the anal fin, the caudal fin, or the tail, and then the anterior and posterior dorsal fins. And you can also see the lateral line along here, and also on the other side. It's a little bit clearer over here, and that helps the perch detect like water movement around it. It's another sensory organ. And you also have the eye here and the little nose holes. That's part of its olfactory sense. Okay, so this white piece right here, this is the swim bladder, and it helps the fish maintain neutral buoyancy. It can fill with gas to help him rise upwards towards the surface, or when it empties out, it'll allow him to fall to the bottom.
So the perch has tenoid scales that you can tell their age by the growth rings, and they also have this color pattern, which is counter shading, which basically means that they have a light bottom so they can blend in with the light sun at the top of the lake, and then a dark top so they can blend in with the dark seafloor. Okay, so this is the operculum, and it's an external structure which covers and protects the gills, and it also regulates the flow of water within the gills. So these are the gills, and the gills aid in respiration because they're the main respiratory and osmoregulatory organs on the perch, and there's actually 4 layers of gills, and that just furthers its respiration.
So this light yellow piece is the cerebrum, and you can see the olfactory bulbs, and those are responsible for the sense of smell in the fish. And then the midbrain consists of this blue area as well as this dark yellow area, and the blue is the optic lobes. So you can see they're very large relative to everything else. So our little perch does have a pretty good sense of eyesight. And this pink piece is the cerebellum, which is responsible for balance, make sure he's floating in the right direction, as well as depth perception. And here is his brain stem, this little off-white piece right here, and that has to do with autonomic nervous function, like respiration.
This is the anus, which is the exit for the digestive system, and it kind of has a little bit of guts coming out there. And this right here is the urogenital opening exit for the excretory system and the reproductive system. So the digestive system, this is the mouth, which is turned slightly upward, indicating that it feeds from the surface. And the esophagus, you can't really see it very well, but it's going to be right down in here, and that is where the food travels from the mouth down to the stomach, where obviously the food is stored and nutrients are absorbed. The intestine, which is extended from the stomach to the anus, absorbs most of the nutrients from the food. And the liver, right up here, is the most prominent organ of the body cavity and has lots of functions. It metabolizes carbohydrates, fats, produces bile, and bile salts. And the spleen, which is right back here behind the stomach, this dark colored right here, it stores, it actually extends between the stomach and intestines, and it recycles old red blood cells and platelets. And right down here, you'll see the gonads, which are part of the reproductive system, and by their size and their placement, it shows that it's a male. And one last part of the digestive system is the stomach, this right here, and that is where all of the food is stored and all of its nutrients are absorbed. And right up here, you'll see this dark color, that is the kidney, and it is part of the excretory system.
So this is the heart here, and you can see the atrium and the ventricle. The perch only has a 2-chambered heart, and unlike in humans, whenever the blood flows through the perch's heart, it is always low in oxygen. So the blood will flow through the atrium, and then it is pushed into the ventricle, and then from the ventricle it goes to the gills where it receives the oxygen that it needs, and then the blood flows from the gills all the way throughout the body where it delivers the oxygen where it is needed. And then it goes back to the heart, up through the atrium, and it is once again low in oxygen. So here's our little Perch's heart, and here is his atrium, and then the ventricle right here, and the blood flows through the atrium, which is back here, there, into the ventricle, and then from there it goes to the gills. So every time blood is in the heart, it's always oxygen poor.